So Mitchell, I think you guys are really interesting to me because you're, when a lot of people are using the term premium video, and premium can mean a lot of different things. So I think let's just as a starting point, what does premium video mean to you?
Well, let me just say this. It's funny. I was at a conference recently and I was introduced as a speaker, and the person read text that they got from our website about our company, and no one in the audience understood it. And now I am a professional writer my whole career, and I work very hard to speak in English. So we've been revamping all of our communications to try to speak in English. And premium is another one of those words that all of us in the industry sounds like English, right? We use it, but it's, what is it really? So, and you can define it lots of different ways. Our customers really look at the audience in two ways. One is, I want to be on top publications. I want to be on Condé Nast and New York Times and so forth. The other thing is, I want to reach 18 to 24-year-old males. So you could say premium is a little of each or a confluence of both. So we try to give our clients both. They always know exactly where they're going to run, and we will give them a full list. That's part of our whole ethos. June, the name of our company, actually means truth, and we really live up to that in everything we do. So if you work with us, you'll know exactly where your content is going to run and how we're going to promote it, and we'll get you the specific audience, and we have some unique tools for that. So we don't rely on cookies because we're multiple screens. A lot of what we do is mobile, increasingly, because that's where most of the audience is, right? And as we all know, cookies are obsolete suddenly.
Right.
After 20 some odd years, they don't work anymore. So everything we do is based on first-party data. We're integrated via an SDK right into a mobile app, and we can see the age and the gender and the geography right off the bat. And then we have the ability to get deeper. Do you speak Spanish in the home? Do you like organic ingredients? Do you gluten-free? Are you in the market to buy a car? And so it's that specificity of audience that our clients really hunger for, that we can deliver in no uncertain terms, and the comfort of knowing I'm not going to be on some site that makes my brand uncomfortable.
So a couple really interesting things in there. I think, firstly, speaking English, I think is a really interesting optic to take to this industry, right? Because we're ripe with three-letter acronyms, and we have words like programmatic that mean whatever it means to someone on a certain day,
right,
something else to someone else.
Exactly.
So when you talk about changing the lexicon, and I think the key word that I heard in there was audience.
Yes.
Right. So getting down to that specific person. What's the biggest challenge right now in the industry? Like, why haven't we gotten that? Why aren't we doing that?
Well, I think the industry is evolving so quickly, and it's impossible for anyone to keep up with it. There's a lot of bright people in that room down the hall, and everyone has their own specific take, but each and every one of us is overwhelmed with stuff to keep up with and things to do quickly because it's all moving and changing so rapidly. And the move to mobile over the past couple of years, everyone's aware of it, of course. We all have a cell phone in our pockets. I think what is less widely understood is exactly how that technological shift is affecting what we do. For instance, 87% of mobile traffic happens in an app. Now that's really significant. The web is suddenly AM radio. And in that world and I say that with all respect to AM radio, it's an important medium that's been around forever. I listen to it several times a week, right? So it's important. And I say that specifically because I don't think it's dead. People say the web is dead. It's not. It's going to remain viable. However, prime time is happening in an app on a mobile device, and cookies don't work there, and it is much more difficult to have a relationship with an app developer and much more expensive for that app developer to aggregate an audience than it used to be in the old days of the web.
So who do you think is the sea change? Right? Who gets to move it? Is it the publishers? Is it MVPDs? I mean, who really can start to influence that change so that we're not just talking about it, but we're acting on it?
Well, I think what you see is users making these choices, right? And companies like Apple and Google who create these platforms making these decisions correctly, and you see these mass migrations. And then it's up to the rest of us to sort of account for that and deliver it to the brands that rely on us to do their work for them.
So the agencies would play a huge role then?
Agencies play a huge role because they're scanning the landscape and making the purchases, and I can't even imagine how difficult it is for one of our clients in an agency to keep up with things. It's difficult for me to keep up with it, right? So I don't think it's all on them, and certainly not all on the brands, but each and every one of us has a role to play in clarifying this, in simplifying it, and in delivering real value.
So value is a really interesting word.
Yes.
So what is real value to if I'm Condé Nast, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's value to me is is it eyeballs? Is it revenue? I mean, what's most important at the end of the day for everyone?
Yeah, well, Condé Nast has specific needs. Publishers are having a very hard time with the shift that I talked about before, and they're struggling to keep up. I think it's more difficult to monetize mobile right now for them because it's not measured in the same way. And therefore, advertisers don't necessarily value it the way they should. So that's just one example. Value for an advertiser is brand safety. It's lack of fraud, which is rampant right now.
Right.
It's a disgrace.
That's huge.
I speak about that all the time. It really bothers me that the industry I'm a part of is so rife with it. So keeping that brand safe, delivering on the promise that you make to them that I'm going to deliver this audience on this platform in this time frame. Simple stuff.
So do you think that digital needs to speak more like linear, or do you think that TV people need to start to speak digital?
I think all of us need to get rid of some of the buzzwords and just speak in English and be super clear. And that's something that I'm proud of in our company, that our sales deck has 6 slides in it that are mostly pictures. And I can explain what we do in 5 minutes or less. And really, a sales call for us with one of our clients, they should be able to understand it. We shouldn't need 35 slides to explain everything. And so I think to the extent that a grandmother should be able to come to a BTV conference and really grasp the platforms and the different products that are being explained, that would be a win.
That would absolutely be a win. So last question, one company other than your own in 2015 that you think is really interesting?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. My goodness. I think Vigil is a really interesting company. They have premium, top quality entertainment, right? To use that buzzword, and you try not to do it. And they allow people to interact with advertising in order to get there. And it's blowing up. And I think they're a tremendous company and one of our partners, so we're happy to be in business with them.